We will now like to invite one of our main speakers today, Senator Ted Young, on the stage to give his remark. Senator Ted Young represents Hoosier in the United States Senate. He currently serves on the Senate Committee Finance, Foreign Relations, Commerce, Science and Transportation, and Small Business and Entrepreneurship. Senator Ted Young is a graduate of the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, and was honorably discharged from the Marine Corps as a captain in 2000. While serving in the Marine and working as a business consultant, Senator Young earned an MBA and his law degree. In 2010, he ran for Congress and served 3 terms representing Indiana 9th District. He was first elected to the U.S. Senate in 2016. Senator Young has a long history of advocating for freedom and democracy in the world, including Burma. He has been a strong supporter of the people of Burma in their fight for freedom. He played a key role in the recent passage of Burma Bill as a part of the 2023 National Defense Authorization Act, which is now the law of the land. Mr. Young is a family man, our neighbor, our senator, and our partner in the fight for freedom in our native country. We are proud and honored to have him with us today. Please help me welcome our Senator Ted Young.
Testing. We're good. Thank you. Thank you. Well, let me begin like this. To the tens of thousands of Hoosiers and other Americans and members of the Chin community from around the world who are watching these proceedings, I say, happy 75th anniversary of National Chin Day. I want to thank the countless Hoosiers who helped make this amazing event possible year after year after year. I, of course, want to thank my neighbors for inviting me to partake in this event. I'm inspired. I really am. That's not too strong a word. Every time I visit you, I'm amazed by the Chin community. I'm struck by your love for one another, your togetherness, and the rich culture that you bring to the Indianapolis area and beyond. It really enriches my life. It enriches the life of this community, and I thank you for that. The songs, the dances. I understand there's even a fashion show a bit later, all to joyously celebrate this important day. But even while we celebrate, it's not lost on me that so many of you are reflecting on decades of struggle in Burma. The mixed emotions you might feel, I suspect, peaked just over 2 years ago. February 1st, 2021. Military convoys entered the Burmese capital and overthrew what all of us know is the legitimate government. That coup d'etat came just months after a national democratic election in which the National League for Democracy won more than 80% of the seats in the Burmese parliament. But faced with the prospect of losing power, the Tatmadaw took over and became a campaign of mass atrocity. To date, we mustn't forget, more than 13,000 people have been detained for exercising their basic human freedoms. And more than 2,800 civilians, including children, have been killed. These aren't just numbers, these aren't statistics. These are your friends. These are your family members, your loved ones, members of your broader community. Now, over 17 million people in Burma are in need of humanitarian aid. 1.5 million remain internally displaced due to the ongoing violence and instability fostered by the military. I know for many Americans and many others around the world, this is just a story they may see on the news that doesn't initially make an impact. But for you, it's different. It's more than just images on the television screen or something you might hear on the radio. It's personal. It's a tragedy that has affected your family and friends, your home. And because more than 35,000 Burmese Americans call the state of Indiana home, it's affected all of us here in this state. Burmese refugees settling in Indiana is not a new phenomenon, of course. Decades of civil war and atrocities against ethnic groups, including the Chin community, have led hundreds of thousands to flee their homes. From 2008 until 2014, more than 117,000 Burmese refugees were resettled in the United States. More than 117,000. Indiana's Burmese population is the largest of any state. And we here in Indiana are very proud of that fact. That's right, you've been such a welcome addition to the rich tapestry of this state, to the unfolding history of this state. And you'll be an amazing contributor to the future of this state as well. But I know your heart still breaks for your home country. That's right, in America you can have two countries. And your friends and your family who live under an illegitimate military regime. We won't forget them. That's why I've done my part, working with all of you, to support Burma in the Senate. I greatly appreciate the Burma Advocacy Group for doing all it can to enlist myself and a number of my other colleagues in this fight. Thanks to efforts like those, last year's defense bill included bipartisan Burma provisions that will support the efforts of the National Unity Government to reform Burma's constitution, to support the restoration of legitimate government, and hold the Burmese military and its international backers accountable for their crimes. On the second anniversary of the coup, with the council of friends and leaders here today, I introduced a bipartisan resolution in the Senate that reiterated the U.S. government's vehement condemnation of the Tatmadaws' merciless killing and torture of the people of Burma, and pressed our government to continue sanctioning coup leaders. The resolution says in part, quote, "We speak with one voice in calling for the regime to immediately release all political prisoners." While the Tatmadaw plans to hold sham elections this year, this path will never lead to legitimacy in the eyes of the Burmese people or the broader international community, unquote. Let me be clear, fellow Hoosiers, fellow Americans, and those around the world who are attending to these proceedings today. While this coup was a setback in the long march toward a democratic Burma, it will not be the end of the story. Like all of you, I pray for the day when we can celebrate Chin National Day without the specter of conflict and destruction that's hanging over this event. I'm proud to stand with the people of Burma, both now in this time of crisis and in the future. Thank you so much for having me here today. I am deeply moved by your invitation. God bless you all.
Thank you, Senator Todd Young, for your